Welcome to Classic Value Investors and Microcap Explosions. This is Mariusz Konieczny. Today I'm talking about tankers. What a difference a few months makes. Just 3-4 months ago, tanker bears were dancing in circles, doing victory laps, talking about how they were right about the tankers. And here we are, February, and the tankers, all the oil tankers, are pretty much soaring every day. And how is that possible that the rates on the tankers are not really, superb yet, but the stock prices of oil tankers are soaring? And if you look at things like Scorpio tankers, the stock is a double from the bottom. And I remember even the tanker bulls at the time were hating Scorpio tankers. I remember that exactly. They were talking about, oh, I like Euronav, I like TK tankers, but I hate Scorpio tankers because of the debt level or because the CEO is buying call options. It was really funny that, even the bulls were hating Scorpio tankers. And that's the stock that has had the best performance over the last few months. But this just shows you that, that tanker bears thought that they were right about the thesis, and now it appears, and I say it appears because the thesis is not finished yet, it appears that who was right all along was the tanker bulls. Because what were the tanker bulls saying? Well, they first discovered the thesis was actually before COVID. They were looking at the order book, supply and demand, and at that time they were already seeing that the supply and demand in the oil tanker market was shifting very positively for the future of the oil tankers. And then they were talking about the coming of the super cycle, and it's been a very, very long time since the last one. Because the last one, the oil tanker companies ordered too many ships, and it took many years. Even though the oil demand consumption was going up, there were just too many ships. And as you know, the ships, as they get old, they get scrapped over time. In cyclical industries like this, when there is a boom, then there's a bust. You can only have bust, and I've been saying this in many videos. So then COVID arrived, and at first the oil tanker stocks sold off, and then they took off again to the upside because of the storage. And this was during the time where everybody was liking tankers. There was a lot of talk on Twitter. Everybody was talking about the tankers. And then, of course, the supply production of oil was cut to bring the market into balance. And then, of course, the oil tanker rates started to go down, and that's when the oil tanker bears started dancing and started saying that they were right. And what it really looks like it turned out to be that what happened is that we are resuming the continuation of the bull market that really started in 2018 or 2019. I don't know, I don't remember the details. But what happens is that we had the bull market going, and then COVID arrived, and then it dipped, okay? And now it looks like we are going back to what was started. So that dip that happened, the tanker bears are saying that they were right about the thesis. Well, yeah, of course, we were right. Oh, welcome back, oil tanker bear. You're saying that you were right? Right about what? What? The stock prices went down. Oh, shut up already. Okay, just because the stock prices went down doesn't mean that you were right. I'm going to disconnect you before I lose patience with you. Anyway, let me get back to the video. So there was a dip, and they were dancing, doing victory laps, saying that they were correct. Well, the oil tanker bulls always knew that there was going to be destocking, but they were talking about that this was going to be temporary. The thesis was that after the destocking happens and a vaccine arrives, we are going to return to the bull market that started a few years before. And it appears that that's exactly what is happening. And even though the rates don't reflect that yet, but people that are buying oil tanker stocks right now are looking into the future, because it doesn't take a lot for the rates to go up. All it takes is just a little bit of increase in production that then has to be shipped, and then the rates can go up significantly. And this is exactly what Robert Barkby was talking about in the interview that I did with him a week ago. And by the way, I'm going to be doing an interview with the CEO of Euronav on the 26th, if it happens on the 26th. So we'll get a view of what's going on the crude side versus the product side that Robert Barkby was talking about. But anyway, so a vaccine arrived, and when the announcement of the vaccine came out, I made a video, and I said in that video that this is the beginning of when the tanker bulls are going to make a lot of money. And I didn't know it was going to happen like, right away or 2 weeks later. You can never time the market, but that's exactly what's happening. The vaccines are getting rolled out, even though the tanker bears were talking about that the vaccines were not going to work and they were not going to arrive and all the blah, blah, blah that they were saying. The vaccines are here. They are getting rolled out, and we see the light at the end of the tunnel. So people are making bets now in anticipation of how the successful rollout of the vaccines, how the fear of getting COVID is going to make people more mobile, return to flying, maybe taking cruises, going seeing family. Some employers are going to get back to having their employees come back to the offices, maybe not full-time, but part-time. But either way, we as these positive things continue to happen, and the vaccines continue to be distributed to more and more people, obviously the hopefully COVID will be getting more and more under control, and life is going to continue towards more normal than it was. And normal, some of you might say it's never go back to normal, more normal than what it was during the peak COVID. And this is why you see oil tanker stocks going up. So if this continues like this, and we do get higher rates that will translate into higher earnings and higher stock prices, then oil tanker bulls will end up being the winners of this whole debate and not the losers. And a big part of this entire bull thesis was the fact that oil tanker companies made so much money during the storage days. Because if it wasn't for those days, I know for sure that a company like TK Tankers wouldn't have been able to improve the balance sheet. I don't think that Scorpio Tankers would have been able to stay afloat without issuing more equity and diluting shareholders. So that storage days was a huge part of the thesis, because this gave these companies cash and improvement in balance sheet to be able to get to this level where the improvements are just about look like coming right on time for them to avoid the dilution that everybody else was freaking about. Obviously, we are not completely out of the woods yet. That's why I'm not dancing around and making victory laps, but this is the early months, early weeks of what I think is prove that oil tanker bulls were right. The fight is not over until it's over. We tanker bears will not give up until we win the fight. So we'll see about that. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.